Morning, everyone. So I'm Katie McQuaid. I am one of the directors in our marketplace business at Amazon, and I run something called Fulfilment by Amazon, which confuses everybody because they don't necessarily know exactly what we mean. Fulfilment by Amazon is actually the set of logistics services that we offer to our sellers to allow them to take advantage of our logistics operations and to outsource effectively their operations to us. So what I'm going to do today is just talk a little bit about what we're seeing in terms of customer expectations changing on the buyer side, a little bit about what that means in terms of the investments that we've been making, and then a bit about what that actually means for some of our other customers, our sellers, in terms of the new services that we've been offering them and what that means in terms of growing their businesses. So hopefully. So if we start a little bit with customer expectations, it's not that long ago that Amazon was considered to be relatively revolutionary by offering free standard delivery, but that seems almost like a sort of a historic moment now. I think we've progressed quite a lot since then, and actually the way that we've done that is really through Amazon Prime. I want to do a little bit of a show of hands. How many of you are members of Amazon Prime? Any? Okay, good. Fair number of you. Not as many as obviously we'd like. I think, look, we launched Amazon Prime in the UK in 2007, and it had some pretty ballsy ambitions. The first of it was to be the best deal in the history of shopping. You know, we like to set our aspirations pretty high. And what we meant by that was, really being able to show the value of the scheme for all of our members, and obviously we've continued to invest in what that looks like. And the second was to make fast delivery an everyday experience rather than an occasional experience. I think, again, that's something where we've been continuing to improve. And so far, I think it has proved to be a great deal for customers. If we look at just the delivery charges that they would have paid alone, Prime members in the UK have saved £1 billion. And obviously now they've got access to a wide range of other benefits as well. And beyond that, actually, we've continued to innovate on what we mean by fast delivery. So we started off with it very much meaning, one-day delivery with a very predictable. You knew when you were going to get it. There's a countdown. It tells you when it's going to arrive. And actually, increasingly, what we're seeing is we need to experiment more. We now have 1 million products that are available for same-day delivery for free for our Prime members. And we have 15,000 products that are available for delivery within an hour. And as Ian was alluding to earlier, there are experiments going on right now as to how we might get that even faster. But actually, the magic from our point of view really comes together when you bring our marketplace business together with our Prime business. And actually what we're trying to do is have fast delivery on a pretty unimaginable range of products from retailers across the globe. So if we talk for a moment about our marketplace business, what we're trying to do with our marketplace business is create a level playing field where businesses of all sizes can sell their products direct to Amazon customers. In the UK, that means we now offer 150 million different products for sale to our customers from retailers across the globe. Now, we're getting pretty close to an unimaginable range of products with that. And it's very, very core to what we do. So marketplace is now 50% of our global sales. But actually, where it gets really interesting, and I'm biased because this is my role, is when you bring the marketplace together with that fast delivery and that Prime promise. And we do that in Fulfilment by Amazon. So launched in 2006, Fulfilment by Amazon gives sellers access to our world-class logistics. They're able to deliver fast delivery, and the interesting thing is they don't necessarily just do that at home, but they also do that globally. And well, literally, the sellers pack their products up to us, or in some cases, for some of our sellers, their suppliers pack up the products. They send it to our warehouses, and we actually take it from there. So we will handle all of the pick, pack, and shipping of those orders, delivering them to customers, and all of those customer services. And from a customer point of view, actually, those are exactly the same as buying from Amazon. And in our warehouses and in our customer services centres, they're exactly the same because you can't tell the difference. There isn't a section. Actually, I take quite a lot of our sellers to our fulfilment centres to show them, and they kind of go, hey, can you show me where my products are? Well, we randomly stow products, and this is a sort of football pitch-sized warehouse, and you're like, well, and then they kind of come into the fulfillment center and they, okay, I understand now, why you have some of the requirements that you've got and why we can't see where our products are. But that's the benefit of being able to serve from the smallest business to the largest business. And one of the other things that I think makes us slightly different in terms of the arrangement we have with our retailers is there's no contract. So our retailers choose how much they want to use it, on what products they want to use it. There's a published set of rates that they can look at any time. There's no sort of secret negotiations. There's a public set of rates, and sellers can choose to use it as little or as much as they want at any point in the year. So they could choose to use it just at specific times of the year, just on specific products, and that gives them great flexibility. So we've got a little bit. But obviously, delivering on those expectations requires quite a lot of investment. Oh, I'm going back. It's missed my. Oh, okay. So if we look at the UK alone, we've invested 4.6 billion since 2010. By the end of this year, we will have 12,000 permanent employees, and we've added 3,500 of those this year. We've got 12 fulfillment centres now, we've added 2 this year, and we've got 28 delivery stations. And most of the growth that we're talking about here is driven by the need to service those retailers that we're selling, so for Fulfilment by Amazon. And we don't stop at the UK. We've been helping sellers to sell across Europe for a while. It's been a big focus for us. What we did until last year was we gave them 2 options. The first option that they had was they could be, their products could be available on our French, our German, our Italian, and our Spanish websites, but they could hold the inventory here. The advantage of that was they just needed to send the inventory to here. They had one pool of inventory, and then we would ship it from here to the customer at the point of order. From a customer point of view, it's not as fast a delivery. There's only so many things that we can do in terms of the pace that we can get it from a fulfillment center here to a customer in Spain, for example. And obviously, from a seller point of view, it's a bit more expensive because the costs are a bit more expensive. You're sending specific items abroad. So the second option we used to offer to sellers was, well, you can also send it. If you want to sell it in Germany, send it to Germany. And then you've got this fast delivery. You're able to offer a one-day promise in Germany to those customers. And obviously, you're then just paying the local fees. But sellers say, well, then I've got all the hassle of sending it to Germany, and I've got to try and manage my different options. So one of the big innovations for us this year was we changed and we launched a new product, which is Pan-European Fulfillment by Amazon. And it's been quite revolutionary, actually, for our retailers and for us in terms of how we manage our businesses. So what it does is it allows sellers to hold one pot of inventory across all of our fulfillment centers in Europe. So they send it into us, and we will then spread it across all of our fulfillment centers and are then able to offer fast delivery on all of the products, not just those that they shipped straight into the fulfillment center in the country that they were talking about. Why that's important? Well, if you're a UK seller and you were previously just selling in the UK, you were accessing our 32 million visitors each month. Obviously, if you're able to send the inventory in the same way and have it spread all the way across Europe, you're able to change that to being 100 million, over 100 million visitors a month. And actually, obviously, many of our sellers are very excited about that. And what they're starting to say is, now that you've taken the hassle out, actually, I'm going to put as much as my selection in here. And suddenly you're seeing their international sales become bigger than their UK sales, and that becoming much more of the area of growth that they see going in the future. And obviously, from our perspective, in terms of really innovating on the customer and the buyer, you've suddenly got 100 million customers who are able to get a fast promise on all of the products that we have across Europe, not just those that the local retailers are selling or those that were shipped into that country. In terms of how it works, it's pretty simple. So first they have to sell the product in all of our different marketplaces. That basically means they have to have a product page that describes it so customers can buy it, and they have to have a price. We try and help them with bits of that, so we give them tools that make it as easy as possible, and we've been helping with translations using some of our machine learning and translation technology. So once they've got their product pages set up and their prices are available, they send the stock to Fulfilment by Amazon, comes into our fulfillment center, and then we take it from there. So we are actually then able to automatically ship across our European fulfillment centers and place it into the right places. And then obviously from a European customer's point of view, when they place an order, we've used all of that inventory placement technology and predictive demand to say, well, what do we think is going to be the customer order? And we've had that product as close to the customer as possible so that the order can be shipped to the customer as quickly as possible. So what it means for the retailers we work with is it's really taken some of the stress out of inventory management. So when they were trying to manage different pots of inventory for different countries, they talked about how unpredictable that was, and they would end up with stranded inventory in different places, and how do I know whether this will work with Spanish customers? How do I work out what to do and how much to ship there? They also talk about it de-risking inventory even for products that previously been successful, for example, in the UK, because what they're suddenly able to do is see the sales that they're getting across the whole of Europe. And actually, if there's something that's competitively going on in the UK, there's a different dynamic in Germany, then they're de-risked by the more specific actions that might happen in one market. And the final thing that obviously it's done is it's enabled us to reduce the costs of getting it to the customer. So actually, they're only paying the local fees because actually, from our point of view, if we get the transshipment wrong, that's on us. So the way that we've sort of surfaced that up to our retailers is to say, well, send it to us. We're responsible for transshipment, and then if we get it wrong, you'll still just pay the local fees. That's on us. It's on us if the inventory placement isn't right, and we'll take that additional cost of shipping it from the UK to France if we didn't have any inventory in France for you. So obviously, it's always nice when you go and talk to our retailers about something that's going to allow them to do something at lower cost. They get very excited about what that can mean, and also makes it more predictable for them. We're not going to stop there. So we want to make the selection available to our 300 million customers that we've got across the globe. We have 109 fulfillment centers and 11 different marketplaces at the moment, and that's still growing fast. I think having those fulfillment centers closer to the customers is really what's really critical if you're going to achieve fast delivery on a global scale. Otherwise, it doesn't matter how many experiments we do up in Cambridge. If it's located in the UK and we need to get it to the US, that's not going to help us very much. And I think we've been investing in all aspects of trying to make this as easy as possible for sellers and for our retailers to make that selection available to our customers. In fact, I actually spend some of my time now when I'm talking to retailers saying, look, we've tried to take the operational hassle, we've tried to make it easy as far as possible to have a single account. That doesn't mean you don't need to think about how you're going to be successful in that market, what the quality of the product page that you've got is, what the pricing strategy that you had is, what you're doing to promote your products in that marketplace. So I kind of have to go very front-footed now to say, look, it doesn't mean that you can suddenly be successful in the US if you haven't thought about your pricing strategy or how you're going to make your product, how it compares with the other products in the market. But what's exciting is many of the retailers we work with are really passionate about their products. They, unlike us, are less passionate normally about operations. So actually what a lot of the solutions we're providing do allow them to think about what their next strategy might be and how they're successful as they expand globally. So if we look at this globe, you can see some of the areas that we've highlighted. So two big priorities for us are really helping US sellers to become successful and sell in Europe. So again, they like being able to have one pot of inventory for all of Europe as well. And the reverse, helping sellers in Europe become successful in North America and access that marketplace. And then the second one that increasingly we're working with is Chinese sellers who often have very high quality products and want to be able to access customers directly. But actually, historically, the reputation would have been, you're buying from a Chinese seller, gosh, you have to wait 3 weeks and then it turns up. So actually what we're able to do is to work with the best Chinese retailers, enable them to have their inventory stored near the customer and to deliver on the customer expectations for delivery and customer services that they'd want. The strategy's working pretty well. So in 2015, Fulfilment by Amazon shipped 1 billion units. We've had a 50% increase last year in the number of retailers that were using the service. This is one of my favorite statistics. People have been particularly interested in this recently, but if we look last year at UK-based retailers selling on our platform and what they did in terms of exports, again, on the Amazon platform, UK-based retailers exported £1.4 billion of products on the Amazon platform last year, which is pretty exciting for us in terms of helping make businesses in the UK to be more successful. And I wanted just to bring it alive a little bit by just talking about some of the sellers and retailers that we have selling on the site. So on the left there, you can see Sanjana. Sanjana owns a company called Verdura Plus. It's a health and vitamin products company. She launched it in 2014, and she would not have launched it if she wasn't able to use Fulfilment by Amazon and outsource her products to us. She's very passionate about the products she sells. She moved here about 8 years ago from India, and she couldn't find the health and vitamin products that she was really used to using when she lived in India. And she knew what they were. She knew that they were fantastic products, but she couldn't find them here. But equally, she had a young family. She was at home, so she started a side project. She talks about it as a side project. The side project has now scaled to become 220,000 units in the last 12 months. And actually, it's really fun when you talk with her, because actually what she says is, actually at the beginning I was trying to do it all on my own, and if it wasn't Fulfillment by Amazon, you gave me my life back. You made it possible for me to achieve this. And what we're quite excited about is helping people that are passionate about products to get those products to customers and deliver on the expectations those customers have, by helping them with all of those different logistics arrangements. She's just launched on the Pan-European Fulfillment by Amazon solution, so she's quite excited about what that's going to mean for her Christmas, and actually her peak's probably more the New Year. So in the middle, you've got Ali Anwar, who runs a company called Charles Wilson. So Charles Wilson launched in 2008 in the UK. They do high-quality shirts, and they launched on Amazon in 2013. It's a similar growth story here, really, but even more significant. So they started on Amazon as a £1 million business. In the last 3 years, they've grown to be a £4.5 million business. Their shirts are one of the most popular shirt brands that we have on the Amazon platform. And actually, interestingly, what we found is he was growing so fast that actually working capital had become an issue for him, which is he couldn't get hold of enough working capital to get enough of a range to expand as fast as he did. And actually another example of where we're investing to try and help the customer experience was we launched a product last year called Amazon Lending. Obviously, we know our retailers, we know which ones, what they're doing in terms of the customer delivery promise, how much business they're doing. So when we launched Amazon Lending, actually, Ali was one of the first recipients of a loan. And what that's meant is he's able to have enough stock to expand globally and extend his product range and buy new products. And then finally, on the right, you've got Al Sharat, who runs a company called The Coconut Merchant. So Al was a lawyer for the UN for a long time. He's very passionate about ethically sourced products. And now, you may guess from a title, but he sells ethically sourced coconut-based products on our platform. But actually, what's interesting is his success has really been fueled not just by the UK, but by actually significant success in Europe. And his coconut oil has become one of the best-selling grocery items on our French, Italian, and Spanish sites. And he started on Amazon. We were the first place that he came. He launched in 2014 and has a very successful business with us. But what's quite interesting for me about his story is his success on Amazon and his ability to show that he's got a very credible product has actually meant that he's almost going the reverse, which is he's now got strong relationships with some of the high street retailers. And his products are now available in Holland & Barrett and Selfridges. So it's a great example of where we were able to bring a product to customers with fast delivery before actually even the high street retailers had been able to get it. And again, he's continually looking at, what's next for me? How do I expand? What might I do? So I think what I was trying to do with these retailer examples is just show you that we're talking here about really exciting businesses, about people who are really passionate about the products that they've got, but actually can't work out necessarily how to get those to customers and to deliver on the customer expectations, which we all know keep increasing. It's not getting easier to launch yourself as a retailer online. So I'm not going to carry on too much more after that, because I know that I'm in between sort of us and coffee. I think one of the things, if I was to sum it up, I would say, look, we all know customer expectations continue to charge ahead in terms of how fast they want to get it. They want it as close to popping into the store that's right by them as possible. And we're continuing to invest in that, and Amazon Prime for us is the way that we choose to do that, and the vehicle that allows us to do that to the extent that we want to do. But what's really exciting for us is how to bring the marketplace range and that Prime promise together, and Fulfilment by Amazon really is the way that we do that, and allows us suddenly to hold the stock of those products spread across the globe, so that we can deliver the fast delivery that's required to customers. But it requires a lot of investment. And as you were talking earlier about kind of getting ready for Black Friday and getting ready for the holiday season, actually, obviously, one of the things that we're doing is making sure that we're there and we're able to provide that service not only for our customers but also for the retailers that are growing with us and who rely on us for their businesses. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.